So I just got an order to print some 757 shirts. What's going on, everybody? JBM back with another video. Stick with me with this video and I'm gonna show you how to print this one color print along with a sleeve print. Alright, so before I get into it, I want to go over some of the things that I'm using. For the ink, I'm using this black TexSource ink. It's just general black. The number is BL-11900. I guess that's the same, but it's a general black ink from TexSource. For this one, to adhere the fabric to my palettes, I'll be using this Adobe Premium flash adhesive. This is pretty much good for like short run jobs, keeps your shirt from moving, so I don't have to put down a bunch of glue. And every few shirts you just spray some more on there. We'll see that once I get into it. And then I'm using this tape. I believe I got this from Ryonet. Really good tape. It doesn't leave the sticky residue on your screens when you peel it up. I only use this to go around, depending on how large my image is, I'll use this. If it's not that big and it doesn't extend out to the edge of the screen, I don't use it, because it's not like it's the cheapest tape. It's not too expensive, but I don't want to run through this when I can use cheaper tape. This is pretty much more expendable. So what I am going to use this for, I don't know if you can see down here. This is the 757 image that I'll be printing, but up here is another image that I use on another print job. So I need to actually tape this, block it out, and this is going to be the tape that I use for that instead of this green tape. Alright, so ideally I would print this on a 110 mesh, but this one is a 230 mesh because when I burned the screen, that was like one of the free screens that I had. So the problem that I'm having, which is not really a big deal, is that the ink doesn't pass through a 230 mesh as easily as it would a 110, which is what I would have used. So I'm just trying to dial in the off contact from the screen, as well as the angle of the squeegee, to make sure I get good coverage of the print, to make sure I don't have any bare spots, blank spots. So as I dial that in, and before I start my actual print job, it's just taking a little bit more time. All right, that's what I'm talking about. So now that I got a nice even coverage, nice smooth print, no empty spots, now I'm good with moving into production. Now one thing that helps when loading your shirts is to have them already preset on your table so that you're ready to pick it up, load it onto your pattern or your press, whether you're screen printing or doing heat pressing, it doesn't matter. Have your shirts laid out, so all you really have to do, and it's just my advice, recommendation, do what works best for you, but have it laid out so you can just come in, grab your shirt, stick your hands in there, and you already have it set like so. You can just bring it straight over to your press and load it up. Unfortunately, I got to keep you at this camera angle because I got to keep my camera charged. But fortunately, I have my heat press on a table that rolls around, it's on wheels, so I can get you kind of closer into what I'm doing. All right, so now that I got all of my shirts printed up, it's time to swap out my jig so I can do the arm or the sleeve print. So I'll be swapping it out with this. It already has the lines on it so I can line it up. That's what I'll be doing now while I take off one of these platens to put on this. One thing about doing these arm presses or arm prints is that one is already a line that goes down the shirt. And when you go to press it, it doesn't require that much pressure. Because what you might end up doing is smearing your print. At least for me on these shirts, I can't apply too much pressure when I go to press it, just a light stroke. And I'm doing a back stroke instead of a push. Another thing that I'm being mindful of is if I go to try to print this again, put any more black ink on top of that, I might make my text and my logo, everything is probably going to be bigger because now I'm just smushing more ink on top of this image. So all I did was one stroke of the ink, got good coverage, and sitting it under the flash. So I just get it off the platen because it's so sticky. Slide it off a bit, and before I completely take it off, I'll get the sleeve. And I'm only doing this for this job in particular. I don't do it every time, but I'll get the sleeve, slide it in there, go ahead and take it off. Therefore, it already has like a little flat area to sit on without folding over on itself. Then I'll take it over here to the press. Let me grab my phone so I can see what I'm looking at. And I'll set it. I had an alarm. Then I'll set it right on the press like that. And that is how I will be printing so that the weight of the shirt is not like dragging down in the front. It can just rest on the table. It doesn't move the shirt as I print it.